Live in high definition, you're watching Game Night.
Well, good evening and welcome to Game Night. A wet night for high school football as the rain came swooping in shortly before kickoff. Some games were delayed, but most were on schedule. Important week, too, because it marks the final tune-up for most teams before district begins, and that's when everything counts toward the playoffs. So we start in Westlake. Shaps still out for their first win 4 weeks in, hosting former rival Pflugerville in their home opener, and they strike first. Lewis Gilbo to Jackson Smith for the first score. Westlake starts to celebrate, but on the ensuing drive, the Panthers only needed one play to tie it up. Alex Dean Jr. to Sammy Flowers with no one in sight to stop him. He walks in to knot it at 7, which apparently did not sit well with the Shaps. They respond with 31 unanswered points, sparked by Lewis Gilbo on the quarterback keeper. 70 yards down the sideline, and then with a quick handoff to Van Grommen, who would swing around the end for another touchdown, and Westlake will find the win column tonight if they can just hang on. It is a shootout, though, 59-35 there in the fourth quarter. Shaps in control. Up north in 5A, Leander winless to start. Our very own Jim Spencer on the officiating crew there. Lions hungry for a victory, and coming from behind in this one, Chase Keltkin heaving it downfield for Nico Brown, who catches it in stride. That tied it at 14, and then more Leander. Keltkin this time would swing it out to John Henderson, the speedster who's committed to Texas A&M. He takes it down the stripe, untouched, and into the end zone. Lions ahead, but it's not by much. They lead 28-21. They're late in the game. One of the top 5A teams in the state is Stony Point, with a big test tonight up in the Metroplex area facing DeSoto. And finally, the Tigers get some separation after a tight game. It's 39-21 Stony Point in the fourth quarter there. Now to 4A, where Lake Travis had their run of 48 straight stopped by Aledo last week. Trying to bounce back against another state power in Kerrville-Tivy. Cavaliers without starting quarterback Michael Brewer, the second week in a row. And the Antlers had no sympathy. Johnny Manziel, their superstar, committed to Oregon, finds Cason Thorns, catch and run for the early touchdown. Tivy in front, and then again, putting Lake Travis in a deep hole. Manziel, dual threat guy, takes it up the middle for the score. It was 13-0 Tivy. When the Cavs chip away, they get a field goal, and then Colin Lagasse, Cameron Rinkle for their first touchdown. They cut it to 3 by half. Took their first lead in the fourth, and Lake Travis is clinging to a small lead, 37-33 in the fourth quarter. They go to Dripping Springs next week as the Tigers come off a win. It doesn't get any easier for Lake Travis. They're locked in a tough district with Cedar Park, who's knocked off 4 straight 5A teams to stay perfect this season. Also hoping to stay unbeaten is Vista Ridge. That's where we find our Layla Rahimi at Gupton Stadium for the Rangers and McCallum. Hi, Layla.
Hi, Brian. Vista Ridge was one of the surprises so far this year in 2010. They finished 2009 just 1-9. This year, certainly not the case. 3-0 going into this game, facing a 1-2 McCallum team for our game of the week.
Welcome to Vista Ridge Homecoming. You're watching the game of the week. Go Rangers!
The Ranger crew is an excited bunch tonight for homecoming, and it showed on the field. We start with the first play from scrimmage for the Rangers. Jalen Harris making defenders miss and runs 51 yards after canceling those 2 nights out. 7-0 Rangers, and Vista Ridge certainly came out swinging tonight. Still in the first, Harris gets the call again, this time up the middle, his second touchdown in as many drives. 13-0 because they happened to miss the extra point. But the Rangers were not done in the first. This time, Chris Showell skates to the outside and goes in. 21-0 Rangers after the 2-point conversion. You couldn't ask for a much better start for Vista Ridge. Right now, they are leading 34-6 in the fourth quarter. So pinning this going final, Vista Ridge looking at a 4-0 start going into district play, and that'll be a huge, huge advantage for them momentum-wise as they do look to a very tough District 25 4A coming up next week. Brian.
All right, thanks, Layla. As she mentioned, a pleasant surprise for Vista Ridge starting the season so well. Another surprise team is Hutto, averaging over 50 points a game in their 3 wins thus far, hoping to make it 4 with Hayes coming in. But the Rebels march right downfield, force the Hippos to come up with the big stop. Nick Crawford breaks up Mason Zervinka's pass. They have to settle for the field goal, and that just won't cut it against this high-scoring team. They attack from all angles. Ryan Higgins has to take the scenic route, but eventually puts it in the end zone. And then the more direct approach here, handing it off to Xavier Wynn. He plows forward into the paint, and they run it up again, 40-34 to improve to 4-0 in Steve Hale's first year as the Hippos head coach. Hutto will tangle with Hendrickson down the road tonight. Hawks facing LBJ at Nelson Field. Jags up 6-0 early. Hendrickson goes forward on 4th and goal, and Romel Watkins punching it in for the lead. It was 7-6 Hawks. They had the momentum, and LBJ with a window of opportunity here. Wilford Zanders intercepting Demarion Jackson with a short field ahead, but their field goal was blocked, and Hendrickson turned it into this. Kenny Williams, write down this name. He's an explosive running back committed to Texas Tech, and shows you why. Breaks off a 93-yard touchdown run, and the Hawks keep their foot on the gas. It's 55-14. Hendrickson in the 4th quarter. Hendrickson opens district against Connolly next week. Tonight, Cougars in their rain gear hosting Aikens in their final test. Eagles give them a short field on the opening kickoff, and Connolly capitalizes. Kenneth Defee shooting straight upfield, makes a few cuts. No one hauls him down until it's too late. And Connolly's offense goes crazy tonight. They're up 62-20 in the 4th quarter there. That does it for high school football, but the stakes will be much higher next week as district begins. That's not the case in college football. Texas and Texas Tech already upping the ante tomorrow, opening Big 12 play with a rivalry game. Roger Wallace from Raiderville next.
Roger Beasley Mazda, North, South, and Georgetown aren't just having a sale. They're having a really, really, really big sales event. Right now, drive home any brand new 2010 Mazda 6 for the same price our employees pay. That's E-Plan pricing on any new 2010 Mazda 6. The driver's alternative to Accord, Camry, and Altima. You gotta hurry, though. This offer is for a limited time. Visit any of the 3 Roger Beasley Mazda locations and get your new Mazda today. Roger Beasley Mazda, North, South, and Georgetown. GetAMazda.com.
Grand opening, grand opening, grand opening. Come to the grand opening of our newest South Austin location on Slaughter and 35 next to Walmart. Get 2 complete pairs of glasses for just $57.92. Or 2 pairs of glasses with no-line progressive lenses for just $97.92. We have a huge selection of designer frames, a free frame warranty, and we'll have your glasses ready in about an hour. In Round Rock, Central Austin, and South Austin, we've moved to Slaughter and 35 next to Walmart. Call 888-983-LENS for a location near you.
Okay, Texas, listen up. You want to know what it takes to have a big Built Ford Tough event? Well, you got to have these bad boys. Ford F-Series, America's #1 selling trucks, 33 years running. They haul more, they tow more, they're the best in Texas. And now, you save more.
Get 0% financing for 60 months or up to $8,500 total savings on F-150.
Talk about your payload. Hurry to the Built Ford Tough event at your Texas Ford dealer before these bad boys are gone.
Goodyear, $100 rebates for the next 7 days.
Pirelli,
$100 rebates for the next 7 days.
Yokohama and many other name brand tires.
$100 rebates for the next 7 days.
Only at NTB.
$100 mail-in rebates for the next 7 days.
NTB will beat any tire price.
Not meet, but beat. Oil changes,
$19.99.
Oil changes,
$19.99.
Goodyear, Pirelli, Yokohama, and other name brands.
$100 rebates.
Only at NTB.
Don't miss this sale.
Right now at Charles Mon Toyota, buy any brand new 2010 Tundra truck for an incredible $8,000 off MSRP. That's right, save $8,000 on brand new Tundras. Plus get 2 years free scheduled maintenance. Charles Mon Toyota, Austin's only family-owned and operated Toyota dealership, serving Central Texas since 1957. Charles Mon and Toyota, 2 names you can trust. 8400 Research. Online at charlesmontoyota.com.
Room Store is taking new price cuts, so I'm putting these tags on the furniture you love throughout the store. It's a big job, but I'm ready. Well, now I'm ready. New price cuts mean the already low prices at Room Store are now even lower. Get here soon for extra savings. Save an extra $150 on this dinette. Room Store. We don't cut corners. We cut prices.
I'm sorry I didn't get your name.
Nikita.
Want to know more about Nikita? Go to CWTV.com.
It's free, it's easy to use, it's instantly keeping you connected. iPulse. Log on to KXAN.com to get it now.
For value and versatility, it's the all-new GMC Terrain. And remember, I'll beat any price in Central Texas at Nyle Maxwell GMC.
Sports is sponsored by your Central Texas Chevy dealers.
Welcome back now to the college game. Most of Texas will have their eye on tomorrow night. The Longhorns and Red Raiders, a heated rivalry to open Big 12 Conference play, and Roger Wallace has planted himself deep in the heart of Tech territory.
This is Raiderville, where Tech students have been camping out since Sunday night, waiting for this one. Tomorrow they'll go inside Jones Stadium, an expected record crowd where they will try to do their part to rattle Garrett Gilbert in his first true road start as the UT quarterback.
He's been very careful with the ball, but he's getting it to the right guys. And we feel like that each week he'll become a better leader. And this is a week where leaders have to step up. We've played really, really well on the road here. And I think it's because we have confident players. But they'll all have a different challenge this week, and I think it'll be fun to see. Every time you take another step, you learn a little bit more about your team.
I think their fans are great. I think it gets you excited to play. I'd put them in the same category as maybe Oklahoma State. They're fans that are so close that they're really right on top of you the whole game, and you feel like that at Tech with the constant heckling, I guess, but it's definitely a fun place to play, for sure.
It's amped up a little bit. It's hard not to be, but I think we've got to kind of stay even keel throughout the week so that we can try to be that way on Saturday. But it's amped up a little bit. The stakes are a little bit higher than the first two games, obviously. And with a team like Texas coming in here, it's hard not to get, out of control. But we got to stay even keel and just rely on each other as a team and kind of not pay attention to anything that happens outside.
Zuzalik, part of a talented group of receivers for Taylor Potts, who comes into this game with 7 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Will Muschamp and the defense would like to see that change if they're going to avoid their second straight loss in Lubbock for the first time since 1986 and 1988. In Lubbock, Roger Wallace, KXAN, Austin News.
Of course, the more recent history has everyone's attention. Record crowds there in Raiderville. Kickoff at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Texas Tech will be in red-out mode. It remains to be seen if their silent scare technique will A, happen, or B, work. Their Raider walk along the Drive of Champions will start at 4 o'clock if you're headed up that way. Senior receiver John Childs will not be available for Texas. He's still nursing a groin injury from last week. Freshman Mike Davis, who scored the touchdown against Wyoming, will start in his place. We'll hear from Roger and the Longhorns again tomorrow. That's it from here. We'll see you again tomorrow. For all of us here at Game Night and KXAN Austin News, have a wonderful evening.